last year, and a few times I visited Dominion, but I just couldn't get in. It was just too big. I got lost. And anybody know that feeling? You want to be part of something big, but you want to be something small enough that you can know a few people.
There you go.
Yeah? And that's what this is about. This is like family, you know. I'm really glad I don't have like 20 siblings and then I don't know my nieces and nephews. You know, we're quite a smallish family. It's three of us. But today I just want to talk to you a little bit. I mean, I was saying to Annie earlier, you know, I never ever look at my iPad. I put it up here, but never look. But if you're here today, it means you're alive. Good. And it means you've had a past.
Good, yeah.
And past is your history. And your history will carry a story. Yeah. And part of the story is about you being an overcomer. Yeah. And you being a fighter and constantly believing God for who He is and plugging into all of that blessing.
Amen.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah? It is not about us, and it's not about our strength or our might by which we do anything, but it's about God acting through us and giving us an opportunity to be here and to share with each other and to be friends and be part of this family. So a little bit of background about me. I came from Jamaica in 1995, but prior to that, oh, thank you. Prior to that, I'm one of three kids, as I mentioned earlier, and we had kind of a tough childhood from a poverty perspective. And for me earlier, I mentioned this morning that problem and procrastination will equal poverty. Yeah. And it wasn't because my mom was a procrastinator, but because she didn't have the tools with which to make her financially okay. And so she did what was best. She worked hard. You know, you never saw her in the morning. And, you know, in the evenings, you would come home and dinner is there. So we had one of those wood fire, but it was not with one on the ground because, you know, you had dogs, right? So she had one of those high ones. So you would come in from school and your dinner was right next to the heat of the wood that was left burning. And that was dinner time. So we didn't have like a nice table with everything on there and all of those things. So that's where I came from. At a house, we had water coming through the roof, you know. When it rained at night, we just go like, oh my God, you know, is it going to stop raining? We had plastic covering us. And kind of that was where we came from. Yeah. And a lot of times people say to me, you're so lucky. But I'm not lucky. Luck is what happened when preparedness meets opportunity. Yeah. And that is this. And you know what they said? Luck is laboring on the correct knowledge. That's luck. So nothing ever happens by chance. But for me, when I came to the UK, my marriage didn't last. Maybe I was the problem. I mean, I think back to it, maybe I was a little bit of a problematic kind of person, you know, get married at age 24 and then you come here and think, nah, I want to do my own thing. I was always a doer. Yeah, I was a doer, and unfortunately, I wasn't going to sit around and wait for somebody else to do something, and then because they weren't doing it, I was gone. I was one of those. In fact, I moved out one night when my husband wasn't there and left him a note. So terrible. So he decided to get even with me. And so I'm working for the Halifax. I'm back at the work one day, and my manager came and said, Barbara, I got somebody here to see you. And he was so wicked. He didn't give me no heads up. I walk out and there are two policemen standing up there and a lady with a badge says she's from the Home Office. And you know that wanting to sink in the floor feeling? People say that, but I don't think until you experience it, you will ever know. So they put me in a plane and sent me back to Jamaica. And I mentioned it wasn't even the fact that we're sending me home, it was the embarrassment of being in a financial institution and being marched out with two police officers. People assume you've stolen something. They would never ever think it was, you know, an immigration issue. So they sent me home, and when I was coming back on the plane, I said to God, look, should I lie and say I've never been here? Because I'm worried. What if they ask me anything? And, you know, and God said, just say you've been here. And I said, yeah, I've been here. And I went back home. The guy stamped my passport, gave me 6 months. Here I am again. Ooh. Yeah? But the thing about it is, you know, they said your passion coupled with your problems will indicate your purpose. And I don't know if you've ever questioned God. I have conversations with God. I'm not one of those people who can pray for 5 hours. I don't know if you can. I see some people pray for hours and hours and they're sweating. And I'm little much like the disciples when Jesus was praying and said, I needed help. Just pray with me. And they all fell asleep. I'm like that. I'll be sleeping and I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and think, oh, I was praying, wasn't I? Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord. Yeah. What were you saying again? That's me. So I have conversations with God. And so I'm always asking, what's my purpose? And I think I figured it out. My passion and my purpose in life is to impact lives in a positive way and make sure there's a legacy for the next generation because I was here.
Yeah.
That's my purpose. That is my purpose. And one of the things about it is whatever we plan to do in life, I love when I talk to Christians and they tell me it's not about money. It is. We can't grow the ministry. Imagine if we don't give our tithes and our offering, there'd be no Hillsong North London, right?
Come on.
There'd be no church. There'd be nowhere. And and I love what Jerry said about, imagine one day having church in Ali Pali. That's where we're based. It's so full and we might not even be here to see. But because we planted the seed and we laid the foundation, that happened because you were here and you were part of that.
Yeah.
That is what's crucial about what we are trying to do here and about us trying to impact lives in a positive way.
Right.
We all come to Hillsong North London because it's so positive and it's so happy. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we help to carry that on?
Beautiful.
Yeah, why don't we help to carry that on and make life, that everybody can see the light in you. Yeah, that's what it's about, seeing the light in you. So I qualified as an accountant, so I'm a qualified accountant by profession. And a friend of mine introduced me to a business back in 2004. And I was working full-time then as an accountant. And I was working part-time 2 evenings a week, going to college 2 evenings a week, single mother with a 3-year-old. So I had no time, but I also had no money. And if you're an accountant, you might agree with me that most time we don't know anything about finances. Our finances is rubbish. We were talking this morning around the back about, I've got a very good friend who is a medical doctor. In fact, she's an A&E doctor. And she's 5'2" and she weighs about 22 stones. She can't get life insurance. She's that big. But she will tell you what to do with your life, won't she?
Yeah.
Yeah? I see doctors who are diabetics. And we're talking about the ones who smoke and do all of these things. But one other thing about it is your life should be a reflection of who God is.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah, that's who you should be. So I saw this business, got involved. And currently I've got hundreds of people that I work with. I've got people that I've never met in my team. I've got people in Sheffield, Kent, Essex. People walk up to me now and say to me, hey, Barbara, I'm part of your team. And I go like, thank God. What's your name? Yeah? And that is what God is doing. But I want to share with you what God has made me to be today. I always use as an acronym, MADE. I'm a mother. I've got a daughter who's 17. So as I mentioned, I started working with myself when she was 3 years old. The thing about it is if you don't go out and build your own dreams, somebody's going to pay you to build theirs. Yeah? So we get all these big qualifications. And it's cool. I'm not saying that because I would never expect that everybody is going to give up a job and decided to be a business owner. I'm not going to say that. I'm a sensible person. Yeah, I need doctors still, even if they're 5'2" and weigh 22 stones. We still need them. But what I'm trying to say to you, you've got a dream and you've got a passion. What are you good at?
Yeah.
What's your dream? What has God put in you that you go home and because it's so big, you get scared about going after it? What is it? What is it that if you didn't have your job, you would enjoy doing it? Why not make it into a business? And then get some help. Or somebody else to help you along on that journey. Because you never know who you're going to impact with whatever God has given you. I think God has put something in all of us.
Amen.
Whether or not we're living it, He has done it. And my greatest fear in life is not even about going to hell. It's about going back to God one day and He said, so what did you do with what I gave to you?
Wow.
And I said, I'm sorry, I didn't live it. That would be my regret. I will not live this life in regret. So I go out and I take risks. I love last week what Pastor Burnett said.
Yeah.
At 80, he's still dreaming and he's still scheming. When you say, what would you have done differently? He said, I've drank bigger. I would have taken more risk. Yeah? And I know you're going to tell me it's about the money. That's okay. Because part of our problem I found is not that people have got a debt problem, is that they have an income problem. How about us creating wealth here? How about us creating some wealthy people? No millionaire is just going to walk into church and say, hey, I love Hillsong North London. I'm just going to go there. You're going to start creating them here.
That's great. Yeah.
And that millionaire is sitting in your seat right now.
Yeah.
You are the next future millionaire. Who are you going to impact? There's so many lives. We see crime. We see our young people. We see everything that's happening. And everybody blames the government. But what about us?
That's good.
What can we do? What can we do to impact lives in a positive way? And that's what I'm here about. And guess what? Yes, I teach finances. That's what I do because I had to learn it. Because I used to be in court every week. I remember Judge Silverman at Edmonton used to look at me again like, you again this week? Weren't you here for your mortgage last week? Oh yes, I'm here for my secured loan this week. Yeah? So I've lived it. So when I talk about financial education and what I currently teach and empower people to do and train others to do is because I've also lived it. Yeah? I've also lived it. So as I said, I'm a mother, I'm an author, so I've got a published book on Amazon at the moment. I'm doing a book because I realized that there's no gap between us saving for our children and then they get into adulthood. There's no bridge. that tell our children that transition process from what we've saved to them and we hand it to them. There's no transition. So I'm in the middle of writing an ebook at the moment to help our teenagers and our young people as they go into their adult life and their finances. That's what I'm working on at the moment.
That's great.
Yes, and I help to develop people and the skills that they have. Whatever it is, be it in my business or not, that is what I do. I help educate and change people and develop their lives. And I'm an entrepreneur. I'm always willing to go build and create and do something amazing. I want to thank you all today for being here, for even giving me the chance to listen to what I've got to say today. And if at any, I'm at church every Sunday. If there's anything I can do to help you and push you in the direction that you need to go to, feel free. Give me a shout. I'm always here. God bless you all. Have a lovely Sunday.
Beautiful.